You idiot! Is that something you'd say to yourself? If so, keep on listening. Hi, I'm Carma Spence, the Own Your Awesome in Business and Life Coach. And today on the C.A.P podcast, we're going to talk about bullying. Now first, I want to talk about, there's lots of different kinds of bullying. When most people think of bullying, they think of when they were a kid. I don't know about you, but I was bullied a lot as a child. In fact, I used to be afraid to go to the gym because there was this one girl who was always picking on me. And in elementary school, there was these two guys who actually walked by me, grabbed my crotch in front of everyone to make fun of me. I was ruthlessly teased, and I was not popular, and it made life really challenging. But that's not the only kind of bullying that can happen. You see, we grow up. And if we were bullies in school, or we were bullied in school, sometimes we bring that behavior forward and do it in the workplace. In fact, I just recently went to a meeting where the two speakers talked about bullying in the workplace. And they had a panel discussion and people were talking, asking questions, and bullying can lead to whistleblowing. And you think you go out into the professional world that we're not going to have people like that we're not going to be bullied, that we've got laws to protect us. But unfortunately, when you're in the workplace, you're working with human beings, and human beings are fallible. And then maybe you flee Cubicle Nation and now you're an entrepreneur. No one can bully me because I own the business. Well, guess what? Clients can bully you. Vendors can bully you. In fact, I did a podcast a while back about the 7 signs of a bad client. And I wrote a special report, and I will include a link below to it, about how clients can bully you in all sorts of ways. So leaving Cubicle Nation doesn't free you from bullying. But the worst bullying, the most insidious bullying, and the bullying that is the least recognized is self-bullying. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now let's backtrack it just a little bit. I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So here's a definition of bullying. Bullying is unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. The behavior is repeated or has the potential to be repeated over time. There are 4 main types of bullying: emotional, sometimes called relational, verbal, physical, and cyber. It typically involves subtle methods of coercion, such as intimidation. Now, self-bullying is basically being mean, overcritically, or hard on yourself. When you are engaging in self-bullying behavior, you may do any of the following things. Denigrate yourself, such as saying, "You idiot!" Criticize yourself. You never do anything right. Call yourself names. "You stupid," "You moron." Threaten yourself. The world would be better off without you. Kind of like that "nobody loves me, everybody hates me, might as well go eat some worms" kind of thing. You can be mocking. "Oh, that was nice. Go. All right. Yeah." And because we know ourselves so well, self-bullies will bring up historic reference to remind us of our own past failures, guilt, and shame. Now, according to waterfallconcept.org, self-bullying is only beginning to be recognized as an emotional danger, but a growing number of researchers are establishing the connection between abusive self-talk and emotional pain. In fact, self-bullying behavior is often linked to depression, and depression is often called anger turned on to oneself. Now, how do you break this cycle? How do you break out of being a self-bully? While doing some research for this podcast, I found an article by a woman named Jovanka Ciaras, and she wrote an article on Huffington Post that sort of inspired some tips. So the tips I'm going to share with you today are inspired by her article, but also by my own experience. You see, I'm probably one of the worst self-bullies out there. I have bought into the crap that other people have said about me and said it to myself in my own words. I have told myself terrible things I would never say to my friend. Or heck, I probably wouldn't even say it to my enemy, but I've said it to myself. And so over the last several years, I have worked really hard to get rid of that self-bully. Because you see, things don't always go right in our lives. So it becomes a habit of listening to the devil on our shoulder rather than the angel. And so, after our brief station break, I'm going to share with you some ideas of how you can kick that demon to the curb and give your inner angel a big ol' hug and say thank you for believing in me.